But I'm gonna make you drive back because I'm not ready for this advanced course.
Oh, really?
But I love it though. I just like to hear the sound. So you're gonna drive.
All right,
I'm not ready to take this on.
It drives better. Well, no, I don't want to build. I don't want to build you up.
I've already called your car honest.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
don't make me say something about you.
I'll say it drives better than many cars that I've built. So, and I can't take credit for building it because Mike built this one. So.
Well, it's a good build.
Yeah,
It's an honest build.
You know, he was a lovely person. He did everything himself. Paint, interior, everything. I put those seats in it, but I mean, other than that, he did it all. And he just had
I was just looking at the paint on here, and it's, it's done well.
Yeah, it's hand done. You can tell where, I was noticing how this was done with a brush and probably some model car paint, and I was noticing where it's been on there for 25 years, and
it's held up amazingly well.
Yeah.
And he ought to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He did good work.
Yeah, Mike was a good guy. He knew how to make them. He made a lot of cars, but he kept. This was his first one, and it's one he kept till he died.
So, how much do you think about him when you sit in this?
Oh, it's all the time. I have a sticker on the back of this car, and I try to. Anytime I shoot a video of it, I try to show this because this is how I feel about this car. Because I don't deserve this, just like I don't deserve what Jesus did for me. But Jesus let me have this, and I try to use it to tell people about the gifts, about who Jesus is. And Jesus don't want you to suffer. He don't want you to sit in the church and be bored by a preacher you don't like, and he don't want you to try to struggle to do things you don't like to do. No. A relationship with Jesus is kind of like me and you hanging out today. We're talking about old cars and stuff. Like. I'm pretty sure when I get to heaven, Jesus is going to have me working on his hot rod.
And the thing about this, I bet everything is billet aluminum. I bet there is a CNC machine working full time.
Oh yeah.
I like the story behind this car, and the reason I like the story behind this car is we're focused so much on our possessions, on our things. And you and I have already talked about, our affinity for things that go boom, and affinity for things that make loud noises and lumpy cam sounds. But the problem is all of this, even this nice 32 steel, we're just caretakers on stuff like this. And now the great thing about this is this can be a caretaking kind of thing, because this thing's already lasted 92 years.
And it's been reborn.
And it was in some ways it might have thought some of the rebirth was painful, but
it always is.
But all of this stuff here we're caretakers of, and that includes possessions like this. That includes things like firearms that we own, and a lot of them come with stories. Sometimes people give us things, sometimes people pass things on to us, and that helps us realize that there's the impermanence of where we are now, but there's also at the same time there's something permanent being built in where we are now. So like, your friend's gone, but he's not, because he's spirit, and spirit stays. Spirit's eternal. Spirit stays with us. And so this is just metal, but it reminds you of him and of who he was and the kind of person he was. And that's important. So we're caretakers. We're caretakers of things like cars, cranky old firearms with blued steel and walnut, houses, land. So the goal is to hang on real loose here, but hold on real tight to what's there. That's our aspiration. That's what we're trying for. But remember that what's there is being built here. That's relationships. That's two old guys who, never grew up.
I resemble that last remark.
Whose only redeeming grace happens to be our wives. But this is cool. This is fun. And this is, you know, I think one of the things we look at is relationships. This car came out of a relationship. Me getting to know you came out of a relationship with Bud and Deb, and then them talking Trish into coming and working at Hope,
Yeah.
which Hope's an amazing thing. And then that gets me a ride in a hot rod on a really nice summer morning.
Yeah.
But you know, Jesus was always talking to people everywhere he went. And my kids, including Thomas especially, the one who committed suicide in February, one of the things they always noticed was wherever I went, I always tried to talk to the people that we were there. And so like the people who worked in Starbucks, people who worked in whatever restaurants we went to. And I always liked to go to local places, mom and pop places. And he did too. That was one of his things. He did not like to go to chain restaurants if he could find a mom and pop place to go to. And when I got his wallet back after he killed himself, there were a couple of cards in there, the little punch cards that places give you for some mom and pop places up in Hilton Head where he was living. And I could tell he was still doing his mom and pop places. And it doesn't cost you anything to be nice to the people who are getting your food for you. And it doesn't cost you anything to see their name tag and say, "How are you doing, Susan?" But, you know, you can't walk around wearing, you know, crosses around your neck or having a fish on the back of your car without having to think about that everybody sees those symbols. And you are the only Jesus they might see today. So, are you acting like you're somebody who should be wearing a cross around your neck? And I know it's hard. We all get cranky. And look, I won't go inside Walmart. I do curbside pickup because I just can't stand to be inside Walmart. I know I don't have a ministry in there. That I will not represent Jesus properly inside Walmart. But I'm nice to the people that bring the stuff out to my car. And I always talk to them. But if I go inside Walmart, blood pressure goes up, I just start to lose it. So, you know, even I have trouble representing Jesus in some places.
That might have been too much information, you know.
Yeah, well, look, you're used to Jim McCullough preaching. And if there's not too much information coming out of that man sometimes.
Yes, sir.
And I love Jim McCullough.
I do too.
Like a brother.
Yeah.
But the man's not right.
That's what we love about him. I'm not right either. I ain't pretending to be. You want a picture of you out here in front of your house with the car? Because I'm going to take one,
Sure.
whether you want it or not.
That'll work.
All right. You want to smile. Look happy.
Say hot rod.
Say hot rod.